Hey everybody, happy Friday and happy New Music Friday. Let's get right to it. It's been 40 years since the Pet Shop Boys first released West End Girls, but Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe are still going strong 4 decades later with their new album Nonetheless, which proves that their synth-pop sound just doesn't get old. In fact, with all the electronic music out these days, it feels fresher than ever. But like always, there's some melancholy in the mix and some moodiness in the groove. You can hear that right away on the first single and opening track, Loneliness. Which is perfect for dancing all by yourself. Another standout track, Why Am I Dancing? And then there's Dancing Star, which was inspired by the ballet legend Rudolph Nureyev. And now, Teddy Swims, my boy Teddy Swims. I interviewed him a month ago, and it was the week before his single, Lose Control, went #1. So I'd like to think that I'm his good luck charm. He put out a special edition of his album, I've Tried Everything But Therapy, Part 1. And this one is Part 1.5. It has 4 new songs, and the highlights include Apple Juice, which has more of those Amy Winehouse, retro soul vibes. I'm still putting booze in my apple juice. I got no excuse. And another fave is Growing Up is Getting Old. I love that title. It's an acoustic ballad that really lets Teddy show off his soulful vocals. I still make the same mistakes like I did. Lastly, Motley Crue is back. First single since 2019, y'all. And if you remember, that's when they had that Netflix biopic, The Dirt. They actually just signed to a new label, Big Machine Records, which is based in Nashville. And get this, it used to be Taylor Swift's label. This is the band's first recording with new member John 5, who replaced original guitarist Mick Mars last year. Don't let the bastards get you down, they sing in the chorus, and they're certainly not letting that happen. Don't let those bastards get you down. It's a solid rocker, and there's more new music to come from the band later this year. So the biggest music news of the week was the announcement of the 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. And for a twist, this year the big reveal happened during American Idol on Sunday night.
We are so excited to announce this year's official inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
When the nominees were announced in February, I immediately zeroed in on the battle of the two 90s divas. In one corner, Mary J. Blige, the queen of hip-hop soul, and in the other corner, Mariah Carey, the queen of Christmas. There were other legendary divas who were nominated, from Cher to Sade. But Mary versus Mariah, that was the thriller in Manolos for me. No way they would both get in the same year, and my money was all on Mimi. I mean, with 19 #1 singles to her credit, Mariah trails only the Beatles for the most chart toppers in history. To the dismay of legions of lambs, as MC's faithful fans are called, it was Blige who was shown real love by the Rock Hall with her induction. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Mary, and while she may not be traditionally rock, fewer and fewer inductees will be going forward. She represents the rebellious spirit of the genre. But you know what? You gotta give it up to Mary. She actually paved the way for Mariah to mix R&B and hip hop later in the 90s. And then everybody from Alicia Keys and Beyonce and Rihanna, they all got in on that after that. But maybe even more surprising was the snub of Sinead O'Connor, just 9 months after her death in July 2023. There are very few women, very few artists, period, who represented the alt-rock movement in the late 80s and the early 90s more than Sinead. But the Rock Hall did finally get it right, inducting Cher, as if there would ever be a question. She has been eligible ever since 1990, y'all, but only just got her first nomination. Let that sink in a bit. It got to the point that Cher told the Rock Hall last year that they could you-know-what themselves. But let's hope she has a change of heart when the induction ceremony takes place on October 19th at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland. Congratulations to all the inductees. Last week, I was raving about my first Bad Bunny concert, and I'm representing that with my Bad Bunny Most Wanted Tour t-shirt today. Well, this week, I got to check out another one of the hottest Latin artists in the game, Peso Pluma. It was a much more intimate setting at a VIP invite-only concert at Sony Hall in Manhattan. Fresh off of his Coachella appearance, the 24-year-old Mexican sensation kept it muy caliente at the launch party for Sony Electronics' ULT Power Sound series. I love the mix of the traditional regional Mexican sounds with reggaeton and trap vibes as well. And the energy was on 10. Peso just won a Grammy for Best Música Mexicana album in February, and XXLP will be dropping this summer. So he's making big moves. And lastly, I eased on down the road to see The Wiz on Broadway at the Marquee Theater. And man, it was a nostalgic trip back to Oz for me. The Wiz has held a special place in Black culture since it first opened 50 years ago with Stephanie Mills, who is one of my favorite singers, starring as Dorothy. And then there was the movie starring Diana Ross that I loved as a kid. I wore that soundtrack out. The new Dorothy, Nichelle Lewis, gave me chills singing home. And Deborah Cox, you know she did her thing as Glinda the Good Witch. She killed it on If You Believe. She definitely made a believer out of me. And now for my weekend picks. First up, especially for all my Jersey people, is the new Bon Jovi documentary, Thank You, Goodnight, a 4-part, 5-hour docuseries that premieres on Hulu today. John Bon Jovi and his Jersey boys are celebrating the 40th anniversary of their debut album this year. So this is a real full circle moment for them to take us behind the scenes and behind the music. And one little juicy detail, well, it's about Richie Sambora and his sudden split from the band back in 2013. You know, that's when he left the band high and dry with the plane waiting for him, never to play with them again. Well, Richie, he gives us a little insight into that situation. He says, if you're in the Mafia, the only thing you do is disappear. Well, it looks like at least he didn't get whacked. My second pick, another documentary, Call Me Country, Beyonce and Nashville's Renaissance, which premieres on Max today. It takes a look at how Black artists are shaking up country music. And you know, we've all been getting our two-step on since Cowboy Carter dropped last month. And speaking of Bey, there are rumors that she may be a surprise guest at the Stagecoach Country Festival this weekend on the same site in Indio, California, where Coachella has been held the past 2 weekends. Whether the Queen shows up or not, you can catch a live stream on Prime Video and Amazon Music's Twitch channel of everybody from Eric Church, who headlines tonight, to Miranda Lambert, who headlines Saturday, to Morgan Wallen, who brings it all home Sunday. So check it out.